All right. Sunday night. What is it? June 18th. Sunday night, June 18th. I'm Coach Micheal Burt. Let's check and make sure everything's rolling. Over here on my iPad, I like to check everything and make sure everything's showing up like it should. And every Sunday night, I come to you, and I like to bring just some thought processes on the week. I like to check in with everybody and see how you're doing. And I like to give you some insight into, maybe some things that's helped me this week, maybe some things that I did well, maybe some things I didn't do well. I do believe everybody needs a coach in their life, and I do believe that a good coach can change your life. I do believe everybody needs a coach in their life. Yeah, there we go. And I do believe that a good coach can change your life. So I'm looking here. John Law, good. How you doing? Carrie Chandler, Jimmy Bowler, Thomas Davidson. Good to see everybody tonight, guys. It's Sunday night coming into the week. I hope you got your prep work done. Big time people use the weekends to rejuvenate, recommit, reconnect. Tonight I'm going to talk about expansion because I just got back from California. And you can say what you want to about California, but it is an expansive state. I know they got tax issues and government issues, but there's virtually no way you can go to California and not think bigger. No way, okay? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what I learned by going out there and doing 4 days in Newport Beach, last night in Bel Air, California, and I was texting Tony Giarratana, who is like the Trump of Nashville, who built the 505 where my greatness factory is being built. And I just texted him yesterday, Carrie Chandler, and I said, man, who would have ever thought a kid from Woodbury, Tennessee would be in Bel Air, California, speaking at a $10 to $15 million mansion overlooking the hills of Hollywood. I mean, right? It's like, who would have ever thought that? So tonight I'm going to talk about expansion. And more than anything, I'm going to talk about how do you get access to these people? Because this is a big thing that I don't always get into, Thomas C. Davidson. But right? And I'm saying this in a very humble way. I could text the best people in the world right now, some of the best people in the world right now, and they would text me back. Whether that be Tim Grover, whether that be a Tim Story, whether that be Ed Milet, whether that be, right? I mean, literally some of the best people in the world. And the question becomes, how do you do that? How do you get in these rooms? How do you go from where you are to having these connections? And a lot of it has to do with really one word, and it's expansion. Okay? And expansion is, I'm going out into the world with a mindset of expansion. I'm going out into the world with the mindset that there is no shortage. I'm going out into the world with a mindset that I have a skill set, Rebecca Soto, and that skill set is as strong as the best people in the world. See, each of you have a skill set, and that skill set is incredibly valuable. It can be utilized to help other people. So expansion happens when you have a primary skill that other people would value. And because like gravitate toward like, and association breeds assimilation, people ask me, how do you get on stages with these people? How are you out in Hollywood doing something with Tim Story? And literally it's Jason Kidd's wife, it's celebrities and actors, it's the guy who started Neon Carnival, it's incredible people. But they're just people. And skill recognizes skill. Skill recognizes skill. So if you're not getting in these rooms, James Neese and Brian White, then it's because you're not either you don't have this expansion mindset, you're not taking your business around the world, and you're confined to a small place. Like for many years, I was confined to Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And to me, that was everything. It's like, how do I become a championship coach in this city, in this little district of 6 teams, right? And then it's like I was doing an event with Grant Cardone in 2015 in Riviera Maya, Mexico. There was 75 people there. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was at the Hard Rock in Riviera Maya. I'm sitting there talking to Cardone, Mary Lee. I'm sitting there talking to Cardone. And I'm talking about going back and dominating Nashville. I'm going to go back to Nashville. I'm going to dominate Nashville. And I do believe you should dominate the backyard before you dominate the whole yard. And I'm there, Rebecca, sitting there talking to Cardone, and he looks at me and he says, quit talking like that. Quit talking small like that. I said, what do you mean? He said, your market is planet Earth. It is not Nashville, Tennessee. That is a market, but that is not your market. Your market is anywhere on the planet. With technology, you can sell to people in Dubai. You can sell to people in freaking other countries. You can sell to anybody. He said expansion is a sales activity. Sales is an expansive activity. And so when I think about that, thank you, Brian White. We'll make sure we get the link in there working. And if some of my team members are watching this tonight, they can make sure, because I'm doing this webinar on Wednesday about profit, right? About profit. And profit only comes when there's revenue. There's no bottom line when there's no top line. So I was teaching my students this tonight is the reason number one, I build relationships with very influential people. And those people introduce me to new people. Now, when they introduce me to new people, it is up to me to bring a skill set that is impactful. This week I'm going to Houston, Texas. I'll do a dinner on Monday night with some key influencers who are in my What's Next group. And then on Tuesday I'm speaking at Ben Deal's event, okay? And I meet new people, okay? So when I tell people you don't need more money, you need more people, but you have to get in this mindset of expansion. And you got to expand your skill set. You got to expand your knowledge set. You got to expand your prey drive. You got to expand your confidence. You got to expand your networks. And you got to create value for these people. And this is what I spend a lot of time in my coaching program teaching people is that I go and I locate people's ambition. Last night I was just listening as I was walking around the party. Every person there had a dream. Every person there had an ambition. Every person there had a problem. So I go to these places, okay? I go to those places and I go, you know what? Here's my unique value to this. Then I follow up and see who's interested and who's not. But I go with a mindset of abundance. I go with a mindset of contribution. I go with the mindset of, man, just tell me what you need me to do and I'll do it. And I'll do it, okay? So if you're thinking about, right now we're in a period of what people think is contraction, David Jeffries. It's contraction. They say, well, it's hard to sell and the economy's tight and nobody's buying thing and interest rates are, and then I go out to Bel Air, California, and I'm at a friggin', $10 to $15 million mansion overlooking, I don't even know where we were at, Hollywood, and I'm sitting there going, the people who bought this house don't think in terms of contraction. They think in terms of expansion. Okay? So there's a shift that's got to take place. And this has a lot to do with identity. And identity is how you see you when you look at you. And so I'm out there in LA and I'm like, look, man, my skill set is as good as the people out here in Los Angeles. That's what you got to believe. And I bring a unique value. I may bring a Southern accent, but I bring a unique value that I've spent 30 years developing. Each one of you watching this tonight brings a unique value. And there are people who are dying to do it. You just need the key connections. So this is a very important thing, okay, that you meet people. You create unique value by helping them solve a problem. You get in new rooms. Those are called new associations. You build new associations. The new associations, some of those people like you, some of them don't like you. Some of them are interested, some are not interested. But it all starts with this mindset, Amanda Beener, is I'm gonna go to new places and get in new rooms and be around new people. And I'm willing to get out of my confined space and go out into the world because there's so much possibility. And sales is an expansion mindset. So I'm going to meet people and greet people. And this is something people don't do. And I'm going to follow up with people. Not to sell them something, to connect with them, to locate their dreams and ambitions. So if you're out there and you're thinking, how do I go do this? Don't start there. start with what is my skill that I bring to the equation that is really my best skill, what I would call your primary skill. I wrote about this in Single Digit Millionaire. What is my primary skill, and who would that be valuable to? And how do I take this skill out into the marketplace? Ryan Mudd, okay? How do I take this, John Lyle, out into the marketplace and have the confidence and boldness to know, hey, some will, some won't, so what? We're just going to keep on moving. Now, here's what I noticed. I'm sitting up in Bel Air last night. The woman beside me is a supermodel. She's been in all kinds of things, and she's cold because it went from hot to cold. And I just look at her and I go, you know what? Would you like my jacket? Because I noticed that you're cold. She said, would you do that for me? I said, absolutely. See, she's still a person. She may be famous. She may be in the movies. She may be a supermodel. She's still just a person that's cold. And would you like my jacket to sit here for a minute and just make sure you're okay? Okay? Now, I was freezing when I gave her my jacket. But hey, it's okay. Because those little acts of kindness to people, they don't forget. Okay, that was an impression. Hey, she's cold. She needs a jacket. Why don't you just help her? So when you think about this, I really want you to get in this mindset this week of playing offense and quit playing defense. If you're not hitting your sales numbers, it's because you don't have enough volume of people. You're most likely not following up with enough people. You most likely don't know your primary skill, and you most likely don't know how to convert interest into action. See, some people are connections, and some people are deals. Some people are just connections that introduce you to more people, and some people are opportunities and deals. Okay? And you have to figure out which is which. You don't know until you follow up with those people. So if I had any doubt, Timothy Nielsen, I'm seeing a lot of people right now play scared. And they're playing scared because they're not hitting their numbers. And they think it's getting harder. And because it's getting harder, it's putting them into a little bit of a defensive posture. And instead of playing offense, which is what I wanted to do when I was a basketball coach, they're moving into a defensive posture, David Perez. And they're sitting back, Amber Walsh, and they're going, you know what? I'm scared. I'm going to contract right now. Now, contraction and shifting is two different things. Some of you may say, look, I need to shift. I need to shift my team. I need to shift my mindset. I need to shift because I'm not getting to the goals I want to get to for some reason, and something is an impediment to this. And we need to shift it up a little bit. That's different than contracting. I call that retreat to attack. You take a step back and you evaluate. You make some shifts and changes. Boom, you go attack. And you just keep doing it. And boom, you attack. And then you go, all right, this is working. This is not working. This is working. This is working. That's not working. Boom, let's get rid of that. And no matter how good you are, there is always areas to get better. Okay? This is expansion. But you got to get hungry for it, folks. I can't tell you how many salespeople I've worked with over the last 3, 4, 6 weeks who just don't have the hunger to friggin' pursue it. And I'm like, man, they don't have the prey drive. And they're waiting on somebody to come along and solve the problem. They're waiting on somebody. To come in and save the day. They're waiting on their sales manager. They're waiting on, listen to what I'm about to tell you guys. I do not place my destiny in other people's hands. If I don't like the results that I'm getting, Tony Barnes, I take total responsibility for those results, and I shift gears. And I move into playing more offense. I'm like, we got to attack harder. We got to get in front of more people. We got to follow up better. We got to get better at conversion. We got to get better. It ain't their fault. It ain't the economy's fault. It ain't the government's fault. Because all of those people, Marlena, I'm placing my destiny in their hands. Like if the rates come down, we're going to be good. No. I'm telling you, if you guys saw what I saw in a week, Joe Peace and Timothy Nielsen, if you saw what I saw last night, if you saw what I saw the last 3 or 4 days just being in Newport Beach, there's no way you could say there's not enough opportunity in the world. There's no way. Guys, I was going to a mall, supposedly one of the top malls in the world. I'm not a mall guy, but man, I went to that mall every day. You know why? Many times I didn't even buy anything. I just walked around and looked at all the opportunities, store after store after store after store. opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And I'm like, man, there is no freaking shortage anywhere. And once that gets out of your mind, it's like, all right, I may need to retool a little bit. I may need to get some more power players. I may need to build some different relationships. I may need to let go of some things where we've been stagnant. And if you've been stagnant, let go of something. Shift here. Don't stay where you are. And if you're one of those people that are letting go, it's an indicator that you need to get better. Don't get mad at people. When I was 22 years old, a guy named Rick Insell, he's probably watching this, head coach at MTSU, beat me by 43 points. And I was so pissed off. And I walked over to shake his hand, and he said, "You didn't like getting beat that bad, did you?" And I said, "No, sir, I didn't." He said, "Well, maybe you ought to get better." This is the mindset of the champion. Maybe I ought to get better, Steve. I didn't get mad at him. That's the best thing that dude could have said to me. So if you don't like your position in life and you're playing scared all the time, could be an indicator that you just need to get better. You need to quit whining. You need to quit blaming. You need to quit pointing fingers. This is what a lot of people do when you give them feedback. It's like, man, you could get better here. No, we're the best at what we do. We are the best at what we do. No, you're not the best. Because I'm out there in the world seeing people do it a whole lot better than you're doing it. Okay? And if you quit, let's check your ego at the gate and quit thinking about how great you are and drink and buying your own hype, you would get better. Because I saw some stats, John Lyle, over the weekend from one of my buddies that was growing organically. 7.5 million people he had been in front of. He sent me his social media stats. Man, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed in how hard he had gotten after this and how weak I had been in that area. It's ridiculous, man. And the people that you use, whoever you use for your social media or whatever you use, they need to see the kind of numbers that this dude sent me, and that will get them from thinking we're really great to we got to get better. We got to get a whole lot better. Okay, so this is a spirit of humility, of hunger, of prey drive, of coachability. Okay, but anytime you think, that's right, Timothy Nielsen. I was speaking at a conference once, insurance conference, and the CEO told me to get after him. He didn't really know what he's asking me to do because I scared those poor people to death. And I got after him, and I asked the number one guy there who was really proud of his accomplishments, and you should be when you're number one in the company. I said, "Man, let me ask you a question, David Jeffries." I said, "Man, are you number one in your company?" He said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Congratulations, man. It's a big feat." He said, "Who's the number one insurance agent in Tennessee?" He said, "I don't know." And I said, "Okay, who's the number one insurance agent in the Southeast? Who's the number one insurance agent in the United States? Who's the number one insurance agent on planet Earth?" That is who you need to be competing against, not 300 other insurance people in your company. See, let's go back to that expansion of planet Earth. Okay, I'm competing every day versus the best people in the world, and I welcome that competition. Okay, because that makes me better. Competition is my greatest teacher. But unless I'm willing to get out in the world and compete and get better and be battle tested, then you don't get better. When I don't get a coach, I don't get better. When I don't seek out people, I don't get better. So I really want to challenge you this week. Going out to California was like a reset for me. It's a different vibe. It's expansive in thinking. It's beautiful. And I came home hungry. Hungry to get better. Hungry to expand. Hungry to find the right people. Hungry to find my who's. Hungry to play at another level. Hungry to quit playing with my potential. Hungry to quit being casual. Hungry to quit accepting people who are underperforming. Hungry to step into. What's up, Matt Crane? Thank you for the message. I got that message. Thank you. Hungry to compete with the best people in the world. See, it tapped into that former championship coach who said, "I want to play the best teams in the world and let the chips fall where they may." Okay, that's how I was as a basketball coach in my last few years. Let's play the best people in the world. We're going to win some and we're going to lose some, but we're going to be battle tested. And I welcome the competition versus my first 5 years, Steve, playing easy teams and winning and strutting around like I was somebody. I wasn't somebody. I was local. I was regional. I wasn't national and international. Okay, so I'm hoping tonight is spurring some discipline in you, some creativity in you, and maybe you've contracted because you're confined to a small place like I was in the beginning. And I was thinking about winning my district, and I was thinking about winning my region, and I was thinking about winning a state tournament, when I should have been saying, how do we play at the national level? See, that's where I'm playing today. So when you see me go do these things, every time I go do something, I learn something. I'm watching. I'm learning. I'm being battle tested. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes we're right. See, too many people play at a local level. They get their trophy. They feel good. They're number 5 in their company. And the truth is they're not competing at a global level. And if they were competing versus a global level, then they're forced to get better. Okay? Now, I'm going to invite you guys to something. I'm going to be in Houston, Texas tomorrow. I'm speaking on Tuesday. It's open to the public. I think they still got tickets left if you're interested. Reach out to me and direct message me if you're in Houston area. But this Wednesday at 1:30, I'm doing Powerhouse Profits. And it's a webinar that I'm just going to challenge you to think different about profits. Challenge you to think different about revenue, top line, bottom line, creativeness, expansion. Okay, because everybody's trying to stimulate. Okay, and if you're going to stimulate, you got to get creative. To get creative, you got to think different than what you're currently thinking. Some of you are still thinking one-dimensional, linear, or as what's his name says in the book, 10x is easier than 2x, linear. I always thought it was linear, but linear, some of you are thinking too linear. Meaning one strategy, it ain't working. Second strategy, it ain't working. And that's where you stop. Some of y'all are trying to recruit people using the same old strategies that ain't working. You're trying to retain people, same old strategies that ain't working. You need to get out of your bubble. Okay? And sometimes you need to get out of your bubble, listen to the same people, and you need to go listen to somebody else. See, one time I was writing a book, Rebecca, and my agent said to me, I want you to get a music publicist. Somebody that thinks different about creativity than you do, than the people in the book business do. Because everybody in the book business does it the same way. And we're looking to shake it up. Sometimes we need, it's called Vujade. Okay? Vujade. It's a fresh perspective and an old way of thinking. So, Wednesday, webinar. Tuesday, Houston, Texas. It's a real estate event. If you want to be in the room with me, Ben Deal from EXP is hosting the event. It's probably, I don't know what the charge is, $97, but it's well worth the money. Trust me. Free webinar, and I'm getting away from doing free webinars, so please take advantage of this, where I spend an hour on Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30 just talking about profits. I guarantee you'll come up with a new idea. A new idea, okay? And I'll be coming to Dallas sometime soon, James. So if you want to be in the room with me, reach out to me. I'll put you in touch with our team. If you want to come over and say hi to me, I'd love to meet you in person. Loved all the people out in California. Thank you for being so nice and friendly. And let's do something big this week, man. Quit being casual with your potential when you got so much more in the tank. All right? Everybody needs a coach. Love you guys. Have a great week.